This was the Ramstein meeting number 8, and it has followed the same logic as the previous ones. More military assistance was pledged to Ukraine. More countries have said again that they will stand with Ukraine for as long as necessary. All NATO countries support Ukraine. And essentially, what we need to do now is to redefine what it means to stand with Ukraine, because for us, defending at this stage of this warfare does not mean just stabilizing the front line. And actually, we are very grateful to our allies for the military support that we have received so far, because thanks to that support, we were able to stabilize the front line. We were able to stop the enemy from advancing, and we were able to even drive the enemy out of certain areas. But of course, right now, for us to be able to defend our land means to be able to deoccupy our land, to liberate our territories. And for this, we need heavy tanks. For this, we need armored vehicles. And from this perspective, today's Ramstein was very successful. And this is something that our Minister of Defense, Mr. Alexei Reznikov, said today. But at the same time, it could have been even more successful, because look, this was Ramstein number 8. But at the same time, for example, Ukraine has been already target of 12 massive missile attacks. So we need to be, as a coalition of free nations, we need to be one or couple of steps ahead of our enemy, not behind our enemy.
Well, the German defense minister has said that he won't stand in the way. Germany won't stand in the way if the Allies are acting as one. Does that then now mean that it's in NATO members? The ball is in their court. Is it over to them? What are you saying to them? How likely is it that they will act unified on this?
We are confident, and we have no doubt, that the decision to start providing Ukraine with heavy tanks will be made. Actually, it in a way has already been made, because the United Kingdom has shown leadership and was the first country to actually overcome this mental hurdle and start providing Ukraine with tanks. So we are very grateful to the United Kingdom for the Challenger 2 tanks that hopefully will arrive on our battlefield soon. Now, at the same time, of course, we know that there are more than 2,000, for example, Leopard tanks in Europe. And we have said it before, that there is no rational explanation why Ukraine, which is now fighting for the freedom of Europe, why we are not getting a fraction of that. Because you know that our military command has said in the past, we need 300 tanks. This is a fraction of what the NATO allies and European countries actually are in a position to provide Ukraine. So as our President Zelensky said, Ukraine will continue to push for this political decision, and we are very hopeful that this will be taken in time for our next stages of the military counteroffensive.
Okay, and what do you make then also of the German argument that the US should be providing their Abrams tank to Ukraine, and that would help to facilitate the matter for yourselves?
Abrams tanks are also something that we have been asking for, but we understand that there are some concerns in the US as with regard to the maintenance issues of these tanks. Actually, I have to say that today another important decision was made that some European countries will already begin training Ukrainian servicemen, Ukrainian tank pilots, to use to operate Leopard 2 tanks. So the first step is already being taken. So whether the US will decide to change their opinion and start providing Ukraine with Abrams tanks, we'll have to see. One thing we are confident is that the Ukrainian servicemen learn very fast. We have shown this in the past. And, when it comes to, for example, issues like fuel consumption, because this was one of the issues, Abrams are apparently, as they've been dubbed, gas guzzlers. But at the same time, look, it's fuel versus blood. It's the fuel that needs to be put into those tanks against the blood that Ukrainian people are paying for this war of freedom every day. So for us, it's a very simple decision. We hope that allies will make that decision in favor of providing Ukraine tanks soon, because this war must not be allowed to become a protracted war.